as the very last hurrah here of Ida moves on through. And this may be one of the more tragic events that we see from Ida. I mean, obviously what happened in Louisiana is mind-blowing and tragic. And this is becoming just as tragic.
And on top of this, Mike, we've been dealing with severe weather, and some of these areas have not only been hit with flash flood emergencies, but tornado warnings at the same time.
It probably feels like the day after tomorrow for a lot of these folks, unfortunately. I know I kind of say that in jest, but that's what it feels like. You're like, oh my gosh, like what is just happened? Like the world is coming to an end here. Things have gotten so bad so quickly. And that's the nature of things. When they come on so suddenly, I think it makes it that much more shocking to people. And that's kind of the nature of what a flash flood warning is. It happens in a flash, right? Or a flash flood emergency, which just kind of ratchets up the severity of the flash flooding. But these kind of pictures just are jaw-dropping. No question about that. Now, the flooding that we've had here, folks, in Plainfield, New Jersey, I'll show you the neighborhoods that are flooded here. We're getting more and more pieces. Oh my gosh! First time we've seen this as well. I'm blown away. I'm just absolutely blown away. It is literally a raging river coming through Plainfield, New Jersey, Colleen. You see the vehicles that are turned sideways. You're just at the mercy of this water.
Gosh, I mean, those look like rapids. I mean, this looks like if you've been kayaking or you're going down a river or maybe even whitewater rafting. This looks like the rapids that you come to, and this is a street.
This is stunning. I mean, it truly is stunning that this is the kind of intense flow that we're now getting out of the Northeast. Any place you might have a little creek or a stream, and it's just going to amplify the amount of flash flooding that we've had. But we go back, I mean, we're kind of numbers people here at the Weather Channel, right? Some places we've had a foot of rain, and it happened in maybe 5 or 6 hours. And this is the result. I mean, it is just, let these pictures kind of be your warning though, right? It is truly life-threatening if you get into your vehicle and decide to drive in this kind of weather.
Yeah, Mike, it's a life-threatening situation. And like you said, we love numbers here at the Weather Channel, but wow, photos and videos really paint the picture and really show folks what the Northeast is dealing with right now, what may be outside of some people's door or window right now if you're watching us and staying inside, which is the right thing to do. And this is something that's going to be going on through the night. And again, we keep mentioning too, remember, if you're living near a river, a creek, a stream in your area, this water has to go somewhere, and so many of those are going to be rising. Much of those in and around the New York area, getting into New Jersey, are in moderate to major flood stage already. And then you see scenes like this, and you got to wonder, Mike, where's this water going?
Yeah, it's going to wherever it wants. Honestly, it's just trying to find the lowest spot somewhere, and so it rushes to that spot. But there are so many people that live here. I mean, all these neighborhoods are just high-density population, and so you get so concerned because there are just so many people in harm's way. Literally, tens of millions of people will be affected by flooding tonight. It's not an exaggeration either, because we've had, over the course of this evening, flash flood warnings from Philadelphia to Boston, and every county in between. So you're talking Philadelphia, Trenton, Newark, New York, Bridgeport, Hartford, Providence, Boston. Think of how many people live in that corridor. It is the most highly populated corridor in all of America, and this is what we're seeing tonight. And I think, too, about all the debris that's in this, Colleen, because there's all kind of stuff in there you don't want any part of, right? And so you're in that, and maybe you find yourself, okay, I'm going to get out, and I'm going to, get around. Well, you don't know what's going to knock you over. That right there is the location. So we found the alley, okay, but look what's behind it, right there. Do you see that? How the river is kind of, it's man-made. How they've canaled it, and then it goes under the street there. So it came rushing around that corner, probably compromised some of the wall there, and so it came rushing down that alley. Great job here by our weather producer, Adam Dean, finding the exact location, but that's almost, I guarantee you that's what happened, is there was so much water, it probably took out the wall, or it just came over the wall and just found the next spot, the next alleyway to go down. That is crazy.
Yeah, the alleyway there might just acting like a funnel and just propelling all of this water into the street there. Just incredible to see that. I mean, I can't even imagine that this is the Northeast right now.
We have seen things like this play out before in other cities. And to mind comes Ellicott City, outside of Baltimore. We had a really tragic situation unfold twice there. But there's that alley. Isn't that so? Probably I'll bet you what's happening is what we're seeing it hit is that bench right there, or maybe there's probably something, a bench or some tables or something there. There's looks like maybe a historical marker or something there too. That's probably bolted down, that the water's flowing up and over, right? There could be storm drain there as well. But the water's literally coming down this alleyway between the buildings and then rushing down the street. I just can't believe that. I mean, they're just so stunning. I'm at a loss for words at what's happening here.
Yeah, when you're looking at the view there, I mean, just looking at all the objects that are becoming just debris and almost projectiles here in the water. You see all those umbrellas, all of the chairs that were there. You see that big flower pot that was sitting in the front. Just wondering what is still there, but it's not there anymore, unfortunately, with this water coming down through the alleyway. But wow, I mean, this is the scene not just here. Mike, I was looking at video out of Brooklyn. Folks are unfortunately wading through the floodwaters. Not a smart thing to do. They are pushing through debris. And so the debris is floating all over Brooklyn right now. Much of that water is now standing still. But it's just a horrific scene. And you just don't know what's floating or what's in these floodwaters. So again, don't be venturing out and deciding that you want to wade through this. It's a dangerous situation, especially what can be lurking beneath these waters.
Just a really tragic event that's unfolding for us right now. And from what we saw there from the street map, I think while that water kind of flowing up like that, it's hitting a bolted down metal bench that's right there along the sidewalk. And so that's what's happening there. And then the water's going around it and finding just the next lowest spot to travel toward. But that water is moving. But that basically is I'm going to get Adam on. What was the river again, Adam? The Rahway River. It's coming right through there. Thank you for that. But I just amazing. It really is. We're going to, as much as we can show you tonight, folks, we're going to try to show it to you. I'm going to maybe recap a little bit of what's happened here because the flooding has been intense. From the Hudson Valley through New York, down through Newark, and down through Trenton and Philadelphia. In the last 6 hours, if you just follow the legend at the top of your screen here, you'll see some spots in here where we've had 8 or more inches of rain, and we can peg some of these for you tonight. New York, about 6.5 inches of rain. In northern Jersey, about 12.5 inches of rain. Edison, about a foot, 12.5 inches, a foot of rain. Around Hopewell, Pennsylvania here. These places have just been absolutely inundated with rain. And here's a stat that's just pretty stunning for us here. New York City, 10 days ago, we had, at least at the automated station in Central Park, 1.94 inches, okay? And at the time, that was just 10 days ago, it was the biggest 1 hour rainfall total at the automated station in Central Park's history. Look at today, 3.15 inches at that same station, setting a new record just 10 days later. Now, we have some hand records that they were doing some manual record keeping back in the early 1900s here, but this record now eclipses a record that is 108 years old. It's truly mind-blowing. I just don't know what else to say. Never seen anything like it before. So tons of storms for us here, all because of Ida combining with a front and a really strong jet stream tonight. A severe weather threat out here in Massachusetts tonight. Incredible amounts of rain, rainfall rates 2+ inches an hour, and a tornado warning on top of it. Barnstable, Bristol, Plymouth counties with a tornado warning. Now one that's been extended farther east into Dukes County as well. So Falmouth and Sandwich, get to a safe spot as quickly as you can. There's been a tornado detected over the water here. I'm looking to see it's still there. Falmouth, get to shelter right away. Right there is the rotation. And I'm going to try to put the new tracker on that for you to get you an updated track on that. Falmouth, you got to get to shelter right away. Tornado almost right on top of you now. East Falmouth wants you to get to shelter as well. Mashpee and Sandwich, all these places, tornado bearing down on you. Get to a safe spot as quickly as you can. Down on the first floor, into an interior room away from windows, you got a basement. Go there. right away, it'll save your life. We've got an active tornado watch in effect in Providence, in Newport, New Bedford. Basically, it's Rhode Island, and then southeast Massachusetts or coastal Massachusetts. That watch, by the way, and it means conditions are favorable for tornadoes to form. That watch is until 7 o'clock in the morning. So that threat will be all the way through sunrise, folks. So it is a really nasty night for severe weather. Headed back toward coastal Connecticut, around New York, and out on Long Island, we have a tornado watch that goes until 1 o'clock this evening. So everything combined here, Colleen, to truly make it feel like the world's coming to an end here in the Northeast. Flash flooding, tornadoes, severe thunderstorms. It has been a tragic evening for sure.
It has, and unfortunately it's not over yet as we're continuing to track what's left of Ida that is now plaguing the Northeast with the flash flooding, the tornadoes, the severe storms. And I want to give you a live look here. This is in New York. We've been watching this camera here as we've had multiple stalled cars on this road. And again, we've had cars that have been trying to drive around the stalled cars and get through this flooded roadway. Folks, this is not what you want to do. When you see this flooded road, you need to turn around and find a different route. There is nothing that is so important on the other side that you need to risk your lives or the lives of others to get to the other side, especially when you should have a warning right there. And the warning is those cars that have already stalled out. Some of them, the tires are up out of the water. It looks like they probably were swept over there or dragged over there to the side of the road. So again, a very sad and tragic scene playing out across the Northeast as we continue to track the flash flood emergencies, the flash flood warnings. Those warnings and emergencies stretch about 100 miles all the way from Philly up into the Boston area. We have flash flood warnings and flash flood emergencies, as well as tracking active tornado warnings in the state of Massachusetts. We're going to be talking more about this, continuing coverage of Ida. Stick with us right here on the Weather Channel.
There's an America we